All right, this meeting is being live streamed. Welcome, everybody. And I'll try to keep admitting people as we go. 5010 Classroom Integration of Educational Technology. We are your instructors.
Right,
We're
this
happy
meeting
to have you here with us, and I try to do my best to continue talking while I hear myself and have to mute my other YouTube window. So that's a skill I'm working on and trying to master more better. And I know more better is not a correct form, but I'm a former science teacher, not a language arts teacher. So
Isn't that a restaurant on the south end of town?
it is, yeah, mo better. I'm trying to get mo better every day. All right, so today we've got Carol Neff leading out for us, and she'll explain the format and what's going on, and you've got 4 teachers in this course. So thanks, Carol. Appreciate you.
And Carol, just before, can I go ahead and run the chat? And if Clint is letting people in, is that okay, Carol?
Yeah, that would be fantastic. Okay, let me get this into the right window. Oh, that didn't work. Oh my goodness. Let's try this again. I'm hoping you can see this okay.
We can. We see your whole desktop. So if you just hit present or whatever you want to do, it'll work.
Let's make it really, really big. How's that? Okay. All right. So welcome to class. We're really, really glad that you're joining us for these next 12 weeks. And each of the instructors, I'll go through each of them in just a minute, but we kind of take turns hosting this seminar each week. And we're so glad those of you that are here live with us, thank you for joining us live. And those of you that can't join live, that are watching the recording, welcome as well. We're excited to have you. These are just some kind of funny things to think about since it's a brand new year, 2023, here we are. I don't know how many of you have already made and broken resolutions. One of my 4 that I did, I already broke. So I'm gonna start over. But isn't that how it goes, right? So anyway, hopefully these will give you a little chuckle today, just as we think about New Year's resolutions coming in. And just so that you all are aware of our expectations, we do meet every Thursday at 4 on Zoom. We would love it if you would mute your mic. Sometimes we get, dogs barking and various noises in the background. It makes it hard for people to hear. So it's nice if everybody can stay on mute. We would love for you to turn your camera on if you can, at least for the first bit, because part of the reason why we like to meet together is for that connection with other humans. And so having your camera on helps with that connection to each other. But we do realize that there are cases where sometimes bandwidth is an issue or, something like that. So we understand if you have to have your camera off, that's okay. But it's really nice when you can have it on, at least for the first few minutes as we're going through these seminars, so that we can see each other and get to know each other at least a little bit, right? The other reason for this seminar being live is to comment on things or ask questions about what's going on, to clarify if you're not understanding something within the class. So that's important too, that we have this time together that we can do that. However, like we said, if you can't attend live, we are recording these. Clint is live streaming this onto YouTube. So then it goes right into our Canvas course immediately after, so that you can see the recording of this if you missed the live session. So either way, we want you to know the information that happens during these seminars. So either come live or watch the recording. All right. Maybe before we get into who our instructors are, was there anything in the chat so far that I need to address?
No, just some silly banter between the instructors. Sorry.
Perfect. Okay. All right. So Tony, let's start with you. Why don't you introduce yourself, and I'll stop sharing so that we can see you.
Wonderful. My name's Tony Pellegrini. I teach down here at Southern Utah University. It's a joy to learn alongside Carol and Clint and Lit and Brandon and everyone in this class. Is just a lot of fun. I'm here to help. And Carol, just one idea or suggestion, and maybe you're going to do it a little bit later, but could you walk them through how to see in their class the people that are in the class and who their teacher is specifically?
Yep, I'll do that as soon as we've all introduced ourselves.
I'm done. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, awesome. Brandon, why don't you go next?
All righty, I'm Brandon Harrison. I work at the CUES, Central Utah Educational Service Agency Service Center, a regional service agency in Richville. And I work with the 7 central school districts, Tintic, Geoabs, North and South San Pete, Sevier, Paiute, and Wayne. And I have some of my teachers in my section, as well as others from around in my section also. I'm happy to be here and to learn alongside all of you.
Clint, why don't you go next?
Hey everybody, Clint Stevens. I am Brandon in Southwest Utah, EdTech integration specialist for Beaver, Millard, Iron, Washington, Garfield, and Kane counties. Former science teacher. I was a science teacher for 12 years, and I've been doing this. This is my 17th year, so add that up, and I'm just old. So, but I'm happy to be here and work with you guys. My class was kind of over full. I had a waiting list, and so this morning we shuffled some folks around. And again, we all teach these together. It's the same content. Everything's the same. But some of you in Millard County might just have different voices and different feedback this year from Carol and from Brandon, because they took a few of you from my load this year, so, or for this course. So nothing personal, just wanted to move things around and keep the conversation lively and different, and glad to be here and with everybody.
And I'm Carol Neff. I work for Davis School District. Typically, I take kind of the more northern area of people, but like Clint said, we kind of have shared this time around. And so I might have some of you from Millard or from other places around the state of Utah in my section. So let me share my screen again, and I'll show you, I think, let me see if I get the right screen this time. Okay, can you see the screen as the instructors? Okay, perfect. Okay, so let me switch over just to our course itself. So when you go into your Canvas course on UEN, let me go back to the home page itself. This is what it looks like when you first get into our class. This is the home
You might
page.
want to go to student view too, just to.
Oh, that's a great idea. There we go, student view. So this is what you would see when you jump into Canvas. And then over here on the side, on the left navigation, there is a people that you can click on. So when you click on people, that brings up everybody who's in your section of this class. So this happens to be my class. So these are the people that are with me. So how do you know if you're with me? Well, if you click on the roles and you choose teacher, then you will see my name. Or if you leave it on all, which is the default, you can just look down the list and you'll notice on this right-hand side, here's the teacher. So that's how you know who your instructor is for the course once you get in. Okay, questions on that?
Not so much a question, but Carol, the instructors are the ones that will be, so you'll be providing feedback to your students. I'll be providing feedback to my students, et cetera.
The course itself is the same for everybody. It's just the section of people that will be with you in discussions, and then the person giving you feedback and grading your assignments. Okay, anything else?
There is a question in the chat. How long will the seminars be each Thursday? It depends. This one's probably going to be the longest one because we've got a lot of ground to cover. But 20 minutes, 30 minutes, not longer than they need to be is the
Yeah.
Yeah.
We try to keep it less than 30 when we can. Most of the time we're 30 or less. on the seminars. So, okay. All right. So
Okay.
each week of this course, you can expect the seminar on Thursday, 4 p.m. That kind of starts our week off. You'll have reading. There's also some supplemental reading that just dives a little deeper into things if you need a little more in order to answer the discussions and work on the assignment. You'll have a discussion every week. You'll have an assignment every week. The course requirements. This is a course that's for Southern Utah State credit only. There's 3 foundation courses that are set up that way. So one of the things that you need to do is you go through the course. Let me go back to the course itself so you can see this. As you start, like if I click on the welcome begin here, it takes me to the modules that show all of the information. And one of the sections you'll get to is this course credit. So it's a quiz that you take, you jump in, you take the survey. When you have finished that survey, it will actually unlock all the rest of the modules. So if you can't get to something, it might be because you haven't completed the quiz and you just need to do that and then it will unlock everything. So after you take the quiz, there's information here. This walks you through step by step exactly what to do so that you can apply to SUU and then receive that credit at the end of the course once we turn in grades for everything at the end. And then also, if you need to go back and get your SUU transcript, that information is here as well. So this will be really helpful information. And I'm just going to click back on modules. You can see it here. It's the whole course credit module that you can look at to get that information from. Okay, so that's going to be important to remember to do that. The weekly seminar, again, if you can't join live, that's okay. Just watch the recordings. We appreciate Clint for recording them for us. We do want to get to know each other, and sometimes we tell jokes, so that makes it fun too, right? So join in when you can. All right, our course requirements also include readings, and the book that we have based this course on is Enhancing the Art and Science of Teaching with Technology. You do not need to purchase the book. We actually do have the full text as PDFs within our course in Canvas. But if you want to, there's a link here in the slides to Amazon if you would like to order the book. You can get a used copy. This is a book that's been out for a little while, so you could get a used copy if you wanted to get one for fairly inexpensive. The supplemental readings are also in either PDF form or a link directly to an article to read. They're also all within Canvas, so there isn't anything that you need to purchase if you don't want to on those. Our assignments throughout the week, you're going to be creating artifacts in this class. So weeks 2 through 8 of this course, you'll be creating those. And then weeks 9 through 12, you're going to be doing some final projects. So we'll talk about each of those quite a bit in just a minute. Let me go back to the modules so you can kind of see. Notice I'm in student view, and so these are kind of grayed out. And that's because I haven't taken the survey yet, okay? So I'm just gonna get out of student view, maybe move this up so that I can show you in our week 1. So they always start with an overview. So this is our overview. This week, it's all about having a plan for your integration of technology within your classroom instruction. And so there's some things that we're having you do. We also want you to get to know each other, so you'll do that. So this is where you'll find the slides that I'm going through right now. And then this is also where you'll find our the seminar video will be located here. The first thing that you're going to do is do some reading. And so you have here, this is the PDF of the book. Okay, so this starts you off. This is the first part here. And then you'll notice underneath here, there's a couple of links here at the bottom that are the supplemental reading that also can help you with answering the question we have in the discussion and to do the assignments that we have for you this week. Okay, then I hit next, and here I am at the discussion. So for discussions, let me go back to the PowerPoint. Sorry, I have to keep moving that down because it's in the way. The discussions, let me get to that part right here. We want you to be learning some different things. And so we want you to do what's called an enhanced post for the discussions. So we have a page within the course that gives all of this information as well. But basically what that means is, like for this first one in the introductions, we actually want you to post using video. And there's a video recording tool within Canvas right within the discussion that you can just use. Some people, it's tricky. Sometimes the Canvas recording doesn't always work, or it takes 24 hours to upload, or anyway, sometimes it can be a little glitchy. So you can use whatever other video tool that you know about to create that video and then upload it if you would like to do that. I've had several people in the past use Loom or Screencast-O-Matic or Screencastify to create their videos. I've also had people do it in Canva or in PowerPoint or in Google Slides, and like there's any numerous ways that you can do that. After this first week's discussion, you'll have opportunity to do a post that's not just text, but that is maybe a poster, or it's an interactive image, or it's, some other something. We're trying to help you to try out different tools and things. And we've given you some ideas, but if you also know of something that you think might work for that post, go for it, do it. That's the idea behind this class, is that you can explore all of these different things and learn some new things. The most important part about the discussions is that you do that original posting to answer the prompt for the discussion by Sunday night. The reason for that is everything is due every week on Wednesday night at midnight. And then we start the week on Thursday. So we go from Thursday to the next Wednesday, everything's due next Wednesday. So if you can do your original post by Sunday, that gives people time to go back in and respond, because your requirement is to respond to at least 2 other people. And so we want to be able to give people time. So it's important to do your original post by Sunday and then respond to 2 other people by the next Wednesday. That's when everything's due. Okay. All right. For the discussions for this course, these 12 weeks, it will be a complete incomplete when we grade them. But we will give you feedback. So if we notice that you didn't get it in by Sunday, or that you haven't posted to 2 other people, the instructors will kind of write that in the comments that, hey, please go back and do this, so that we can change if you have an incomplete, if you go back and do it, we can change it to a complete, if you were able to go back and do those. But at the very most, this is probably the thing to keep up on. Don't get behind on discussions. Keep up on it, because otherwise they're not very good discussions if you get behind. Okay. Okay, couple other things that we have. Let me go back to this. The weeks 9 through 12, your assignments are going to be to work on your technology integration project and your online portfolio. And I'll talk a little bit more about those in just a minute. There's also a seminar presentation that you're going to do that is right out of our text, the reading that we have. And then your technology integration plan. So before you do your whole big technology integration project, we want you to come up with a plan. So you'll have that's going to be another assignment that you'll be doing that you'll turn in by week 6. So that you have that plan, and then you'll do your implementation within your classroom starting week 7, and then that project is due in week 11. So we'll go over that in just a minute. All right, let me go back to the actual course so I can kind of show you a couple of things. So let me
Don't
just,
freak out if it sounds like a lot.
yeah,
There are a lot of moving pieces in this course, and we'll be there to remind you and to help you along with it as we go. But yeah, there's a few different things going on in the class.
We hold your
Right.
hand week to week through this
Yes.
process. That's why you come here for.
we will. I'll show you a couple of things here in a minute. So in our text, I'm just scrolling down as I go through this. So what I want you to notice here in the table of contents is in each chapter, starting in chapter 2, there are elements. So we have element 1, providing clear learning goals and skills. Element 2, tracking student progress. And there's 41, I want to say. Let's see, where am I at? 41. There's 41 elements total in the text. So that's what your seminar presentation is geared around, is you're going to pick one of those elements that you're going to sign up for. So let me go to that page here. Hang on.
Or part of one of those elements.
Yeah.
We've split them up.
So, all right, not this one. Hang on. Let me get to the right one here. This one. Okay. So your seminar presentation, you'll sign up for one of those elements. And it explains it all on this page. And then there's the page where you'll sign up on. So you'll pick one of those and it's in Flip. And so you'll go in and you'll just record your Flip for that particular element. And let me just show you this. We can see there's some people who have already signed up right here. So Sarah's going to be ready with her. She'll just do it already before week 2. And then we may choose to watch hers during our week 2 seminar. We're just going to randomly pick some of these seminars to show. So she'll sign up. And you'll notice back on, let me go back to modules, that on our overview, not the overview, sorry, this one, you'll notice that both Tony and Clint have given you an idea of what you need to do for that element presentation. It's just short, but we all are reading the book. So we're all reading the information that's in there. So it's not just a regurgitation of the information. What it is your own experience with it, or maybe you have ideas of different tools that they didn't share in the book that you could share, or maybe the tools that they did say in that element are ones you've used, and you can talk about your experience using those tools for that particular element. So you can watch Tony's example or Clint's example of how they put together. They didn't do an element, they actually covered chapter 1. So that's the information you'll find in these flips, but that's the idea of how you can do your flip. And we've had lots of people be creative. That's great too. We encourage creativity. But yeah, so that's the idea behind the seminar presentation. Okay, I'm going to pause for a second. I've been talking a lot. Let me get to the chat. What questions or comments do we have in the chat?
I've been just kind of filling in and commentating as you've been going along.
Perfect. All right, so we're good.
Yeah, and like Brandon said, the hardest part is to not talk for more than 2 minutes. Brevity is the limit. There is a challenge, and you'll think, oh, how can I talk for 2 minutes? And then when it cuts you off at 2, you're like, but you can re-record it. Try it again.
Try again. Really, we don't want them to be super long, like 2 minutes, just succinct, concise, but a good experience that you can share. Okay, I'm going to show you this on our homepage of our course. There's a link here called Outline of All Assignments and Projects. So we were talking about how this class has lots of different moving parts. There's lots of different things. So we put together a document that hopefully will help you week to week, along with when we do the seminar, we'll kind of go through, this is what we're doing for the week. So this is just a little checklist for week 1. These are the things you need to do. For week 2, here's the things you need to do. And it has, this is when the seminar is, and then this is the due date of when everything's due. So hopefully that is helpful to you as you go through So when you click on this, you can make your own copy if you want to, so that you can do it. You can print it out so you can physically check it off, whatever you want to do. But hopefully this will help you to go through each of the things that we have in this course. Okay, let me get back to this. Okay, so this week in chapter 1, it talks a lot about the change in technology over the past few years. Like, it's constantly changing and updating and different, and there's so many things that are going on. And so we need to think about the world that our kids live in today, right? And then this was kind of interesting. I'm one of these people that I like to dive in both feet in the deep end and go for it, and just really learn everything there is to know about a tool or an instructional strategy or whatever. So I'm kind of one of those early adopters. I don't know that I'm completely an innovator, because I like to see what somebody has done and then go with it. But I am definitely an early adopter. But you can see in this graph here that we've got all the different, people on this continuum, right? That there's people who are like, I'm not doing anything until somebody else has gone bloody before I have to do anything. And so I'm going to be, you guys do it all. And then when it's all worked out, then I will try this out and see how I do with this technology. So wherever you are, doesn't matter. What we do want you to do in this class, though, is push yourself. So kind of give yourself that permission that, yep, I'm going to try this. And if it fails, then I learn from the failure, and I can still go and I can still keep doing these things. Okay. This is interesting to see this picture, right? This is like a regular classroom setup, but just computers, right? But as we think about kids today, this is more likely their actual life, right? The mobileness of where our computer technology is. And here again, this is at home. And then this I thought was interesting as well. Look at how many devices people have. Like, it's not just that I'm sitting here with my computer. I'm sitting here with my computer and my phone and my iPad and maybe a laptop. Like, people have more devices than just the one typically. And so to be able to navigate that is going to be important for our kids today, our students. We need to serve them, right? And kind of meet them where they're at. So all of that is a certain amount of literacy, right? You need to have that digital literacy, that technology literacy, so that you can use those tools in an appropriate and also efficient and good way. The K-12 online national trends, and this is actually, it only goes up to 2019. So if you think through pandemic, right, and all the changes that happened through 2020 and 2021, and now here we are at 2023. So even just looking at this versus where we're at now, like exponentially, things are expanding and getting even more and more. So a lot of these tools are now very, very commonplace in our classrooms. And these are things that we use all the time, and things that we need to help our students be able to use, but do it in a really good way. Okay, again, I've been talking a lot. So what I would like you to do now is go to this link, and I'm going to see if I can get it in the chat so that you can click on it in the chat and go to it. And then this is a Padlet that what I want you to do is just add your own sticky note. You can click on the plus or double click on it once you get to it. Hopefully it's open and everybody can do this. And then even those of you that are watching the recording, it might be after the fact, but that's okay. This Padlet is still live, so you can go there and add what are your tools that you use to enhance learning. So I've already put mine there. I actually added a picture with mine too, because on Padlet you can add pictures. You don't have to. You can just type in what are the tools that you use to enhance learning in your classroom? What are your favorites? What are your main go-to ones? So for me, Canva is one that I use probably more than anything, especially lately. That's been my go-to tool. Padlet's another one I use, Mentimeter, Canvas, all the time I'm in Canvas, Flip, which you'll get a chance to use during this class, Plickers, which is it's more analog than digital, but I end up using it quite a bit too. So I decided to add it in. So go ahead and take a minute to add in some of your favorite tools. Those of you that can get to the Padlet. If you can't get to the Padlet, I'm fine if you put it in the chat as well. That's fine too. So, okay, Tony, do you want to talk about your list?
Don't ever ask an Italian to talk. I'll keep them here far past 30 minutes. I love this little glide. If you want to click on the link, something I can give you feedback real quickly on my phone. It's just a video message. It's just very quick, easy, simple. And again, like Carol mentioned earlier, we love having you come to these classes. We love seeing your faces. We love hearing your voices because it keeps that humanness. We know we're going to teach online and asynchronously the rest of our lives, but through tools like this, we can stay connected.
Thanks, Tony. Tony also keeps a list, so if he finds out new ones that he can add to the list, that's always helpful to him.
Thank you so much. And Carol, you mentioned that earlier. I wanted to interrupt earlier, but I'm going to do it now. Just say, yes, if you find something new, we want to know. So we are, technology is changing so fast, even Clint can't keep up with it all. But we sure need you to share, and well, maybe you can't, Clint. I just can't keep up with all. But as you learn new things, please, we love learning alongside you. Now stop talking.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. And keep adding to this. This is helpful for everybody to kind of look back and go, oh, that's a tool I've never heard of. I'm going to go check that out and see how that works. So thank you. All right. Oh, and thanks. I saw somebody added a meme. That's super fun. Okay. Next. Okay. I really liked this quote as well. That really, we kind of need to keep up, right? And it's hard, but you guys are in a great spot because you're taking this class. So this is one way that it will help you keep up to date on what's going on, because you'll learn from each other. You'll learn from us. We learn from you. It just helps all of us to stay together on, what's happening right now and what can we learn about. So thanks for being here. All right, the technology integration project. I told you I would get a little more detailed into this. It has 5 sections to it. We did put in week 1. It's one of the pages as you go through the module, what this is all about. The only thing we want you to do in week 1 is to think about what you might want to do. Again, in this class, we want you to push yourself a little bit. So we don't necessarily want you to do something you've already done before. We want you to try something new or try something that you're doing, but you want to get to the next level on. That's what we're looking for. It doesn't have to be huge. It can be large or small, whatever you decide, if you want to do it whole class or just with a few students. But either way, we want it to be something interesting and something relevant to you and your work. There are some examples linked here. If these don't work, there's other links in our course that I checked them today. They do work. So if these ones on the slide don't, go to the ones in the course. But really, first of all, just think of something, and that's what you're doing this week. Next week, or in the next few weeks, if you would like to talk to your instructor about this, like either you don't have any ideas or you have an idea, but you're not quite sure if it will work, please reach out to one of your instructors. That will be considered the collaborative planning part. We're also going to ask you to type up a little paragraph of what your idea is. And then if we feel like we need to talk to you, we'll reach out to you as well. But that piece of it, that letting us know in that paragraph, is the collaborative part, number 2 part of your planning in this project. Then at the very latest on week 7, start implementing that plan. We want it to go for at least 4 weeks. Now, that doesn't mean every single day for 4 weeks your kids are doing something. It might be, if you're teaching in secondary, you probably only see your kids twice a week, maybe 3 times a week, based on if it's A day or B day or whatever. So really what that means is it needs to go for 4 weeks, but it might only be, once each week they're doing something for that week, okay, that you're implementing. So kind of think of it that way. And for elementary, it might just be, hey, I'm doing this in science, or I'm doing this in English language arts, and this is what we're going to do. And for the first week, we're going to work on this intro and how to do it. The second week might be, the next part, we're going to work on this part. So kind of think of it in terms of that. So don't think of it as an overwhelming thing, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so then you'll implement
more than just, I'm going to do a Kahoot with my kids.
Right. Yeah. This needs to be something that is something they do over time, right? It's a project.
Something that your kids are making or building or creating or designing. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. And then once you get done with your implementation, then you're going to create kind of a little presentation about what happened. How did it go? Show us some student samples or examples. What can we look at to see how it went for you? And then there's a write-up that you'll do at the end that completes the whole project, okay? So that's not due till week 11, but be thinking about what it is you want to do for that integration with technology. Okay, questions on that before I move on? Okay, I'm almost done, I promise.
We'll talk about it every week, so don't worry.
No, we will continue to talk about it. Yes, any of your questions we will get to. Okay, the other thing we're going to have you do is create a digital portfolio. So we'll show you how to establish that portfolio, like how to set it up. I think that happens in week 2. And so you'll establish that, and then each of your assignments, as we go through it, you will attach to that portfolio. So we'll kind of build that portfolio as we go through the class. And then you'll add in your tech integration project can be in there. We want you to reflect on an artifact from that. Anyway, there's examples here again. And again, in our course itself, there's also some more examples. So you can see what that is. All right, so.
Carol, before we move on.
Yes.
Will you go to the modules in the course?
Yes. Here.
So after the week 1 module where we do all this introduction goodness, I added a new module that just has the after week 1. Oh, reload that page. I
okay.
Just barely put it in this afternoon.
Okay.
Oh, did I not sync it?
I know it's there because I've seen it.
Oh, there it is. No. Anyway, there will be a module.
There will be. I know it's there. I saw
the assignment. Basically, instead of the assignment, it's the instructions or whatever for your portfolio and for your technology project. So that because since they're in weeks 11 and 12 and they're locked, we'll have those instructions and examples and everything
yes.
there for you. I don't know. Maybe I haven't done a sync since. There they are. Course projects.
There they are. Okay. Yeah. Maybe if I just move it up, and maybe we each have to move it up.
Maybe each need to move it up. Yeah, that's possible.
Okay. So I'll get that moved up. But yeah, basically this is the project without it being the actual assignment page, but it gives you all the information. So you're ready to go. And then also for week 12, it gives you all the information and instructions. And then when you get to week 11 and week 12, that's the actual assignment for those weeks. Okay.
Thank you much.
All right, moving this up.
That's okay.
All right. So, okay. So there you go. We have a weekly seminar, weekly readings, weekly discussion posts, weekly assignments, your tech integration plan, your text element presentation, the technology integration project, and your online portfolio. There's all the moving pieces. And then that document that I showed you earlier, that's your checklist. That's linked again here, so you can get to that. Okay, I think this is an important part I want to talk about. Please do not suffer in silence. Okay. If you are having any issues or troubles or problems or heartburn, please, please, please reach out to us. We are flexible. We don't want you to necessarily take advantage of that. Like, please stay caught up as much as you possibly can. But we know that life happens. Okay. So let us know, right? The main thing is try to stay current with those discussions if you can, at least by Sunday night. That's the important thing. And then as you get through assignments, just get them in as soon as you can. If you happen to get behind, just keep going and try to get caught up as soon as you can. All of the work for this course needs to be submitted by April 5th. We have, as instructors, we have about a week to get those grades turned into UEN. UEN then reports that to SUU, and then it can be reported onto your transcript. And so anyway, so that's kind of your drop dead. By April 5th, we got to have everything in. Okay. All right. There's the whole ed tech endorsement. There's 9 credits that are these 3 foundational classes. These are the ones that are the SUU credits. So right now we're in the one for spring. The one for summer is the leadership in blended and digital learning. And then there's the other courses that you can take through UEN or through your school district if they're offering. There's 7 1-credit courses, 2 electives, and then to go to a conference. Our next conference that you could go to is Ed Camp in St. George. That's on February 4th. There's USET in March and URSET in July. There's also some others that we'll talk about in future seminars. Clint, did you want to say anything?
Ooh, Ed Camp St. George.
Hey,
Be great.
I know, be awesome.
It's
So-
free too. I think that's a free one.
Yeah. So enjoy the journey of this class, and please reach out to your instructors if you need any help with anything. Is there anything more in the chat that we need to discuss?
Nope.
All right, that's it.
But we'll stick around to answer any questions you have or console you if you're scared or whatever. Don't worry. We give you plenty of time for all this, and everything in the first couple months builds into your portfolio, and then there's lots of time to work on the other projects the last month. So you guys will make it. It'll be great. Okay. And Tony, if you want to hang on and learn how to use the comment bank.
I do.
Canvas,
And
or
Carol's going to
if you
share with us first a
look up
little
some
bit on
rubrics or
rubrics.
anything.
Does that sound okay?
Yep. But if there are any questions, Sherry, Tamara.
I have a quick question. So for the project, could I do something like with my interior design class? Can they make an interior design, like a digital portfolio? Does that count towards,
Sure.
are right?
That'd be great.
I'm on the right track. Okay,
That'd be
all
great.
right, perfect. Thank you.
Yep. Christine, you good? You never know. She may have had to step away, but
Life happens.
that's
Carol
okay.
taught us that tonight.
Yeah. Man, too many things to talk about on this first time.
It's
You
a-
did wonderfully.
Brutal.
You
Thanks,
did
Carol, for,
wonderfully.
taking
You did wonderfully.
Thanks for taking the lead on that one.
Yep, no problem.
42 minutes, Carol. We're going to beat it next week. I'm going to cut it in half
Yeah,
next
I'm-
week.
Good.